What's up, guys? Justin here, aka mHero25, with my friend Alex at the shop. I am here to do a quick deck profile of my remote duel improvement deck. So I just wanted to show off the mat because it's Alistair, and the deck I decided to run was Dogmatika Invoked because I had to go for the Invoked mat, have to play the Invoked deck. Makes sense. Anyway, so this is more of like a revamped version because I was trying to wait for the mat, but it took forever. So this is more what I'm playing today. And what it is now is 60 card dimes. It stands for Dogmatika, Invoked, Magician Souls, Eldritch, and Shaddolls, with the Dragoons, unfortunately. So we're going to start this off, sectioned out from Dogmatika's, in alphabetical order of the name. So first off, for the Dogmatic engine, we're doing 3 Ecclesia. You need your Searcher, especially in this many, with this high count deck. It needs to happen. Then we're doing 2 Dogmatika Fleur de Lis. This is your negator, but also more of your extender and fodder to get into your Macabre plays. And then we're doing 1 Maximus, because at the point of the meta, everyone kind of shifted out from playing the answers for Maximus, which was Ints and Nova to get Macabre. And everyone has kind of refocused more on like Drytrons and Virtual World, so that this ended up becoming very good and perfect answer for a lot of those decks. Then we're playing 3 Nadir Servant, no surprise there, your Searcher, and then we're playing only 2 Dogmatika Punishment. 3 is a little too much even in this deck because this card is really great in the early game when you need to initiate disruption, but the longer it stays, the more you use it, it ends up hindering you when you could actually go extend your board into a more solid place. Alright, and that's it for the Dogma engine. For the Invoked engine, we're doing Magical Meltdown, which is 3 Alistairs, and oh look, 3 other Alistairs, so that's 6 Alistairs altogether. 2 Invocation, and oh look, a Terraforming, that means another Alistair. So the ratio, even though this was a 60 card deck, we decided to keep it 2 Invocations because player preference at this point. 3 invocations always come to my an invocation comes to my hand way too often, so I think 2 was enough. And even at that point, it floats to my hand way too often, so that's why I decided to cut it down to 2. Now, to help support the deck and have a little bit more synergy, we're doing 3 Magician Souls, and yes, 1 is German. I could not find an English one to save my life. So Magician Souls has great synergy with the deck, whether that be with the Eldritch, the Magical Meltdown with Invocation, and just other dead cards you don't need, and also a great bait and extender. So it had too much going for it where it could not be used in this deck. Funny enough, this is your only draw power, and it was more than enough throughout a lot of my matches. Off to the Eldritch engine, we are doing 2 Golden Lords. That's all you need. 3 can be pretty cloggy, and any non-pure variant just needs to stick with 2. That's just a personal opinion. And then we're doing 3 Cursed Eldland to find your Golden Lord or your Golden Land cards as the situation arises. And again, some perfect plays I've used this to help me set up into going to Macabre, Verte Anaconda, and then going into Dragoons to help set up a very strong board. Then we're also doing the 1 Eldritch of Black Awakening and the 1 White Destiny. Simple reason is because you're running a very huge deck and 3 Sanguine is rarely enough, so you kind of have to find a way to get your engine going in one way or another. So either this could be fodder for spell negating or actually be used to get a monster out, which has happened. For traps, we're doing 3 Eldritch Sanguine, no surprise there. 3 Conquistador, and only 2 Hakieto. That is because I only have 2 Hakieto. I keep losing my 3rd one, so I have to find another one. Super fun. But to mitigate that issue, we ended up playing 1 Guardian of the Golden Land. And this is more of like a tech card as well, just because this is answer for Dragoons, and if not, just a big body for people to deal with. And when you have so many level 8s, different players will kind of like worry about different things at different times. So when they see both Fleur de Lis, Maximus, and this level 8 coming out, they might think you're running a level 8, a rank 8 extra deck as well, which is not happening, but it's just something they might fear. And then we're doing the Shaddol engine, which is funny enough just 1 card, which is Shaddol Schism. Hilarious that the whole engine for Shaddolls comes off 1 card in your deck, and this is just feeding off Nadir Servant being Nadir Servant or Maximus sending App Cologne and just going to the races from there. And we're running this Dragoons package because it's almost it's so worth it to run it in a deck that's 40 plus, because it means the likelihood of you drawing any of your bricks goes down significantly, but not certainly. So when you do draw it though, like most of the time it's just like, okay, we can make it work still. And that's it for most of the main deck. Now we're running into support cards. We're doing 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, still the best hand trap of the game. We did 3 Ghost Bell, because Ghost Bell is versatile enough to hit both Dogmatika, Virtual World, and Drytrons, some of the best decks, and even Eldek. So versatile, good to have it, and pretty even useful. Then we're doing 3 Forbidden Droplets, the best answer for breaking boards and interrupting your opponent, and to get over a lot of quote-unquote indestructible monsters. And for 1-ofs, we're doing 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 1 Called by the Grave. Honestly, the Harpy's Feather Duster, even though it is in a 60-card deck, comes up more often than not, where it just wipes the board and gets me into games. Called by the Grave, of course, is your answer for a lot of hand traps or cards that would stop you from really extending your board to where you would feel comfortable. And then supporting traps, we do 3 Torrential Tributes. It's the best board wipe of the game. It goes in and out of the meta right now just because, depending on what you're playing against or what you're playing with, it can be very detrimental or be counterintuitive to your plays, but it happens, but it works. And then we're trying out 3 Angel Statue Azurine. This card I've been testing out recently, and it has been very good to a certain extent, just because it can negate special summons, or like just be a beefy body for attacking, and perfect fodder for Golden Lord. So yeah, not bad. And for the extra deck, we are doing the standard Almirage Secure Gardna. Then we're also doing the Algades, and the 2 Macabas, and the 1 Purgatrio. Macaba always if you're going first, Purgatrio if you're going second to go for game, and Algades is for your grindier games when it happens, when you just can't kill your opponent, but they just keep coming back. For support cards, we're doing 1 Elder Entity Ints and 1 Titanclad Ash Dragon. And then for the Shadal package, we're doing the App Cologne, the Construct, and the Winda. The reason I decided to opt in for the Construct, even though a lot of people just cut this out and just do App Cologne, Winda, is because as the duels go on, you actually might need Construct, or have to force a play where it might be better to send certain cards in certain orders to get to a more interruptive board and supporting your plays. And of course the Dragoons package, 1 Vertanaconda, 1 Red Ice Dragoon, and we're playing IP Masquerena, and this was originally Nightmare Unicorn, but we're trying out Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So funny, so busted. I've used it twice so far, and every time I've done it, it's been at a key point, and I was like, yes, game. And it's been fun. But even then, if you couldn't get this, Nightmare Unicorn would still be a very sufficient target. And as long as you have a card in your hand and can navigate your plays well, your opponent will be terrified of you and what you could possibly do. And that is it for the main deck. 15 cards extra, 60 cards. Main, Jesus Christ, it's a lot, but the versatility you get from it is amazing. Now for the side deck, this again has changed as the meta's gone on. But for today, we're doing 3 Nibiru just for Drytron, VW matchups, or any spammy deck, which is still very apparent. You'd be surprised on how many people have cut out the Vanity's Majesty, or the Vanity's Lord, whatever it is, to make different boards, and Nibiru is still the best option, and it's better to risk it in that case, because even if you have to ditch it, it's not the worst thing in the world. But then to ensure your plays, we do 3 Ally of Justice Cycle Reader to banish light decks. So it's really good against the Mirror Match, good against Drytrons, good against random light decks as well. Then 3 Droll Lockbirds for a plethora of other matchups, 3 Lancias to stop banishing, and then we're doing 3 Lightning Storm for board wipes. Yeah, and that's it for the deck overall, the matchups I had were pretty fun. They were great. I'm actually very lucky because I actually got 15th place. I snuck in like at the last minute thanks to my friend Theodore, who actually got second places going into the invitational this weekend, and it's so crazy. So my matchups actually were round one Shadal's, and I actually could have had the whole match, but my opponent showed up late, and like literally at the 10-minute mark he clocked in. I was like, damn it, I could have just had a free win, but I still got it. Game two, I played against a character who was known against the whole bracket that he's a cheater. And I experienced that because he actually made us time, even though I had game if he had just given me the turn. Duel 3 was against Virtual Worlds. That one I lucked out on. He knew how to pilot it, but not to an extreme extent. So I used that weakness to really like push for game. Game 4 was against my friend Theodore, who actually just like whooped my behind because he was playing Numeron Eldic. But he was fun. I'm glad he was my first loss. And then my last match was against another Virtual World player, and this one was just like downhill, just because at that point, like at the last match, like you have to know that your opponent plays well, and he was no slouch. He locked me out. He even did like a very interesting play, which was to, even though I had Makaba, Dragoons, and Vertanaconda, he was able to get to Utopia, the level 6, the rank 6 one that makes everything 0, and he just wiped my board, and I was just flabbergasted. And overall, I ended up with a record of 3-1-1, and not bad. I was very happy overall. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I had fun making this deck, playing this deck, and getting this lovely mat. And this is Justin, aka MHero25, signing out. Peace.